G'day guys, welcome back to Shenke Garage. So in this episode, going to get back into the tray. I've got the headboard to fit up and then also some carbon fibre inserts to fit into the tray top. So we'll jump straight into the video and hope you enjoy. Okay, back into the 1-tonner this episode and more tray building. I feel like it's been a little while since I posted the last video on the tray. I have been doing a little bit of stuff in the background and getting stuff organised, but it hasn't really been worth filming. It's been sort of quite boring stuff. So I'll give you a bit of an update where I'm at this episode. Now it is raining here in Brisbane. I feel like this year has just been wet and raining a lot here in Brisbane, but apologies. Hopefully the audio, you can hear me okay. But anyway, you've probably noticed that the tray is not on the tonner. Now I ended up removing that. It's just over here in this little carport thing I got that I kind of use as a bit of a spray booth, but I ended up epoxy priming the tray. I ended up getting the headboard ordered and that was sort of going to take a little while. So in between I thought I would epoxy it. So I pretty much just pulled the tray off and sprayed the deoxidine over that, got all the metal nice and clean and treated with the deoxidine, and then I just gave it a couple of coats of epoxy primer. So I can now pretty much start smoothing it off. Now I've got these little bits here to put some filler in and just sort of blend all this in. Probably put a layer of filler on the sides, anywhere that you're sort of going to see, just to get it all nice and smooth. But anyway, I'll start doing that after I do the headboard. I still got to fit this headboard. So I guess with that, we'll talk a little bit about the headboard. Now you can just see the tape I've got here on the back, and I just used that to mark out roughly how I wanted the headboard to sit. I had the tray sitting on here and then just marked it out. So it's about 3 inches thick, and I think that's going to look quite good. Now you can just see the bend here, so that'll have more of a bend. It won't be so sharp, but that I wanted it to meet up with this body line here, so that's sitting level there. And then this angle here, it's not quite parallel with this body line here, but I think that's still going to look quite good. And then it sort of just comes up slightly above where it goes in there. Now I was going to make the headboard myself. I was just going to get some tubing and some bends and just sort of cut and shut and re-weld. But I had a subscriber or someone that watches the channel reach out to me, and they told me a business here in Brisbane that actually does headboards. Now the company or business is called Bow Desert Exhaust. I'll put a link in the show notes if anyone wants to check out their website, but you can just go on the website and order it online, and it's $300, and then I think you can get it delivered as well. So you can get it delivered anywhere in Australia. And they've actually got this template that you can download and then fill in the exactly how you want it. So there's different thicknesses, different materials. You can get stainless steel, alloy, different thickness. And you just give them the measurements. So you've got your angles, your height, your width, and they're pretty much bang on the money. Apparently they're only about 1 mil off from what you want. So I think for the money, I think that was pretty good value to get it bent up. Okay, so I've just picked up that headboard and I think that's turned out really nice. Nice bends on it. You can't really see any sort of markings or anything where it's been bent, so I think they've done a really good job of that actually. And you can just see they've just left a little bit more material on the base, so I can just cut that off where I need, which is no biggie. But for the money, I think $300, can't go wrong really. Okay, that headboard's sitting on there roughly, and I think that is going to turn out really good actually. I'm really happy with that shape. Obviously need to cut a bit off here. And then I think it does need to come down maybe 20 mil, but that gives you a rough idea how that's going to look. So really happy with that. I think the tubing, the 3 inch is perfect as well. Not too thin, not too thick. The 3 inch is just right, I reckon. So now I need to put the tray back on, and then I can figure out how I'm going to mount this headboard on there. Okay, that headboard is cut to length and I think that's looking pretty good really. I originally had it at 305 mil in height, but I ended up cutting it at 325 mil, so about 20 mil higher, and I think that looks pretty good. There's not really like a sharp point on this bend here, it's sort of a gradual bend, so I don't think that's really going to matter being up a little bit higher anyway. I think that still follows the cab pretty well actually. So yeah, I'm happy with that. Now there's probably a couple of ways I can mount this headboard. One way would be just to weld it directly to the outside frame here, but because this sits over the top of here, I think the best way would be to bolt this in and then have it removable. So if I need to replace the infill panel, then I can just remove the headboard, replace the infill panel and bolt it straight back in. So I've come up with this idea. I've just cut out this plate and that's just going to sit inside the headboard, and then I'll just weld it to here and then grind it back nice and flat, and then I'll cut a hole in this plate and then I'll have this bolt stick up through there, and it'll basically just be a stud that then will just slip into the infill panel here, and I'll probably weld like a 90-degree to the frame as well, just to provide a little bit more support, just so it's not pulling on that infill panel. And then I put a nut underneath and then tighten it down. That should be that should work out pretty good. Okay, ended up removing this infill panel and I've just welded in a 90-degree directly to this outside frame. That's just so that the headboard, it's not getting tightened directly to this infill panel, but there's that 90-degree piece, it'll tighten up on there, which is actually welded to this outside frame. And I've just drilled a hole in there, so it's a little bit offset, you can see, so when I tighten it up, it's not exactly right in the middle, but because I've got this cross member here, and then obviously there, I can't actually, put a stud right in the middle. Now what I've done over here, I've just got these little plates cut out and I've just used some tape and they're held in by the tape, and then I just marked where they go, so I'll just put some lines there so it goes right in the same spot again, and then I've sat it back onto the tray, and then I was able to come up underneath and just mark the hole where the stud's going to go through. So I'll start drilling them out and then I can weld these directly to the headboard. Okay, them studs and plates are welded in and I've ground them back, so that sits nice and flush. I think that's going to turn out pretty good. The stud, it sits off center, but I think that's going to be fine because the headboard sits nice and flat onto the tray. I did make sure I put a straight edge across here before I welded them in. So I put a straight edge across here, going over to the other side, and I just ground the actual tube back a little bit so then the straight edge sits nice and flush on both sides. Okay, that's slotted in there nicely and it feels nice and solid. It's definitely not going to go anywhere. I'm pretty much now at the point I can't really do anything else on this headboard. What I'm going to do is continue on with the infill panels onto the headboard. So I've got to get Rob from Straight Cut Solutions around to do up a bit of a design for that, measure it up and then design it on CAD, and then I can flick it around to the laser cutter, get that cut out, and then I can continue making up the little tabs to then bolt that infill panel in. So you'll probably just use sort of similar shapes already that's on the tray and just continue on that on the headboard. Just another thing that I've been doing off camera, I've got these inserts all made up for in between the infill panel, so they're just going to bolt up from underneath. And I just got these cut to size from the aluminium sheet supplier. So it's just 2.5mm thick aluminium sheet. And what I've done is I've coated them in Raptor liner. So from underneath, when you're looking from underneath, it's just gonna have this Raptor liner. Now on the other side, so as you're looking down, I've got these wrapped in like a carbon fiber. It's basically a PVC vinyl, sort of marine grade material. And it's pretty durable, so you can get water on it and it's UV resistant and stuff, but it's basically got a texture to it and just looks like carbon fiber. So I think that's gonna look pretty good. So I just got Carmen's auto trimmers to wrap them, so the same place that done my interior. So what I might do is I might just, bolt them in and just see how she's gonna look. Okay, I've just installed 3 of them insert panels in. I'm not gonna put them all in because all this is gonna be pulled apart again. I just wanted to see what it was gonna look like. And I've just got a few bolts in there holding it in loosely, so it still needs all the bolts put in and all tension up to bring all the gaps and everything all nice. But I think that's gonna look pretty good. I'm happy with that carbon fiber look, just that texture. It's getting a little bit dark now, so hopefully you can kind of see that sort of carbon fiber texture on it. But yeah, I think that's gonna look really good. By the time all that's painted in the yellow, so all this is gonna be in the yellow, the tray's gonna be yellow, and then got the carbon fiber to sort of to break it all up. So yeah, I think that's looking pretty bloody good. I'm now going to be waiting on this headboard, so in between then I might pull all this tray apart again and get all the infill panels in the epoxy, get all the sides in body filler and the guards and smooth all that back. I can start spraying some high build. It's going to be a little bit kind of boring work, so I'm not really sure whether I'll film it. Let me know in the comments if you want me to continue filming all that stuff, but I guess a lot of it I've already filmed with a lot of the cab work. So yeah, I'm not sure. I don't want to make boring episodes, so let me know in the comments. I've also seen some comments about the wheels on this tonner and that they are letting down the build, and I kind of agree with them comments. When I bought this tonner, they were the wheels that came with it, and they do have that kind of old school 90s vibe to them. And yeah, I think they do need to be modernized. So I'm thinking of getting some new wheels and tires. So these will be for sale once I do get them. So if anyone is after these wheels or tires or interested, just reach out to me. Now I was thinking some welds with some bead locks, so 15s on the rear and 17s on the front, but they are pretty common, so I kind of want to do something a bit different. This whole build is pretty unique, so I kind of want to find a wheel and tire combo that's a little bit different. So I'm thinking of going 18s on the rear, 18s on the front, maybe a bit more of a show wheel style. So I kind of need to make sure that the wheel and tire is exactly the same as what is on there already. So the same width and diameter, because them guards are built around that specific sort of tire. So yeah, let me know what your thoughts are on the wheels in the comments. But yeah, I do still like them, but I just think to bring up this whole build, the wheels are sort of letting it down. But yeah, if you like what I do, want to help support the channel, hit the subscribe button. Also, you can support the channel further by purchasing some merch. So I'll put the merch store link in the show notes below. Hit the thumbs up, leave a comment. If you've got any questions, leave a comment. And if you are new to the channel, I highly recommend checking out this build from the very start. So I'll put a card up in this corner here. So you click on that card and it's a playlist of the very first episode all the way to the latest. So you have a good binge on that. And yeah, we'll see you next time on Shenke Garage. Cheers.